Hello there, everyone. Welcome to this informal live stream right here on Quarter and exclusively on Quarter as far as the live part goes. Although I may end up backing this up on Joshu TV later on. I haven't decided yet, and who knows, maybe I'll even put it on YouTube for giggles. But it's exclusively live here right now on Quarter. And you have me, and TTOR, and you have my other partner in crime for this stream, Charlie Brown AU.
G'day, g'day, everyone.
So I have a couple announcements to make right off the gate. Just got a screen share. Application window. And boom. Hide that. So first up, there's my book, Hanover, which has a teaser trailer right here that is on the official TTOR website as well as on Quarter. And that book, I can say now, is officially going to be released and hit the market early September. Talked with my publisher the other day, and we've confirmed that my book will indeed be out early September. So around that time, right after the book comes out, I'll be making a separate video announcing its release and encouraging all of you to get it. It's going to be an original superhero novel that is very unique in the topics it covers. As a matter of fact, it's going to be very controversial because it's basically a modern day Samson set in our current coronavirus world, except the world of this is a little different. It's 2025, and the coronavirus restrictions and lockdowns, the mandates never went away, and we have the vaccine passports, and basically some really nasty crap starts happening, and it leads to the journey of my main character. But you can check out the trailer for yourself on the TTOR channel or on the TTOR website where you see the Quarter embed. And speaking of my publisher, he had a post on Gab earlier this morning. So if you're a Christian author and you're looking for a publisher to publish your Christian book, whether it be like a fiction book or a nonfiction book or educational material, whatever, you can do that through our Walk in Christ Publishing, or YEC Publishing as he calls it. The post you can see here on screen, and the URL, of course, you can see right there, owicpub.com/submissions. And if you're a Christian author, that is definitely something you should consider doing. Now, on to the main event. So, Quarter has been growing in the couple months it's been online. Charlie uses Quarter as well as I do, so he knows what's going on there about as much as I do in terms of traffic and people uploading. And I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised by Quarter's growth so far, considering that I'm not a lying grifter like Ray Vahey or the people running Odyssey or Rumble or Andrew Torba at Gab, considering I'm not one of those guys and I don't have their lying grifting talk that gets people by the millions to come use my stuff. I gotta say, the growth's been pretty good. We're approaching 60 registered users on the site, and if you go down to the new video, well, not the new videos, you go down to the most viewed videos section, you can see that we already have 5 different videos with over 1,000 views, with the most popular video on the site currently just over 3,300 views. We got another one over 2,000, which is an Addams Family movie. And then we have an Addams Family clip with over 1,400 views. Then we got a Mark Spellman clip from Darkstorm's Royal Empire that has over 1,300 views. And then Barrett, the gaming legend himself on Quarter, has over 1,200 views on his The Content Creator Dilemma video, which I have to say is quite good if you're looking for not just an overview of what video sharing sites are out there, but why most of them are no good. That's a good video to watch. And then Andres Segovia has over 1,000 views on his Local Broker Reacts to Realtor Lionel Hutz video. He's one of our early advocates, especially when he saw this video go viral relative to Quarter. And there's also other videos with hundreds of views, including a couple by Mr. American and Let's Go Brandon Green's interview with me about Quarter has over 450 views already, which I need to contact him and let him know he's going viral on Quarter with that one. But yeah, as we can see, Quarter is happening. What's been your take on Quarter's growth so far, Charlie?
I think it's slow at the moment, which is understandable because you don't have the mega popularity and the big VC funded type avenue to push it. But it's slow and steady, and I think in some ways that's better than everyone and their dog getting on it and then it just crashing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we were talking about in Delta Chat, and everyone should be joining up on Delta Chat, is that it seems to be picking up search engines, which is good. So that got Barrett some views through search engine results. And it shows that if you've got people on a newsletter, RSS, and search engines, and probably a blog, then we lower the need of being popular like some of these mega big sites. We can pick up the views in other methods.
I agree completely. And that's something that people like when they use a new video site, they unfortunately are concerned with views too much. And they'll be like, oh my goodness, guys, I've been told about this site, but no one watches my videos there when I just upload it and don't do anything to promote it. So I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, that's the catch 22. We see it on all sorts of stuff. And the thing is, people have to understand we went through this thing from going from Fakebook over to Gab, and then Gab over to Minds, and then Minds over to Loop and Creation Social, and over to Mastodon servers and stuff. The smaller niche type servers will be never as popular as those big corporate raised up ones.
Mm-hmm.
But the niche servers definitely have more of a feel to community and real person interaction than the big sellout sites.
Yep, I agree with that completely. Plus, I find too that if you actually try promoting your videos that you upload to sites like Quarter, what you find is that you can get a lot more views than you thought you normally would if you actually try. I mean, I only have 18 subs on my Quarter channel, but some of my videos have like 180, 200 views or more. I think my most viewed video, which is my video where I announced the launch of Quarter, has over 400 views. And over on
I
Joshu
thought
TV, I have plenty of videos with like 6, 7, 800 views and over 1,000 views. And even you have videos with that much traffic over on Joshu TV, which uses the same tech as Quarter does. I think what you find is that when you're not being throttled as far as your view counts go, like you are on YouTube, you can reach a lot more people on a site like Quarter than you would think.
yeah, I saw once people shared your stuff directly from either their blog or stuff like Telegram and things they were using, because Quarter and Joshu wasn't getting automatically blocked like some sites do for Crapshoot or
Mm.
Odyssey or anything that's not centralized main platforms they're trying to push. I got some great views from Telegram recently. Videos that would do hundreds actually got I think around 2,000 views. So it goes to show when we're not throttled and when 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 they artificially don't prevent people from viewing content can do really well on these niche and community and small run servers that aren't propped up.
Exactly. And you're looking at some of these most viewed video counts on Quarter here, and you know from me admitting it earlier that we don't even have 60 registered users yet, although we're close to it. I think we're at like 58 or 59 registered users at the moment. And you can already get videos with this many views on a site with less than 60 registered users. It makes you wonder, man, what could happen on Quarter if we had 100,000 registered users and like 5 to 10,000 active users? How many views could our videos get if we got to even that size, much less the size of a site like BitChute or any of the other alt tech grifter sites?
I expect a purge to happen on Odyssey and Rumble and these other sites as they get into the election process in America for 2024. Well, at the end of the year, I reckon, and the beginning of next year, I think we'll get to see another wave of censorship. It always seems to happen around February and July. It seems to be consistent time when they purge stuff. I don't know if that lines up with stuff in America happening at the same time, but definitely seems to be a trend. Is February and July are waves of incoming censorship for whatever the current platform is that they're trying to prop up.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I mean, there are people that are like, oh, well, Odyssey, is so great and it's free speech, and Rumble's so great and it's free speech. Well, why? Well, there's so many people using it. But yet, Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute all have hate speech policies. BitChute in particular has a policy that says that they can censor your video even if it doesn't violate their community guidelines. The hate speech policy for Odyssey equates words to violence, and I mean that quite literally. And then, of course, the Rumble hate speech specifically targets bigotry against Jews as being something that they just won't allow, even though they're supposed to be based in America now that they're owned by Trump's company. And even though, according to the U.S. Supreme Court, bigoted speech is protected by the First Amendment. So if you're going to pretend to be a free speech site, you technically shouldn't be censoring stuff like that.
It's
So,
funny that all these people go on about how apparently white people are in power in these 20 Western nations, yet there's one race, one political system, one religion, one nation state, and one group of people that seem to be protected above anyone else, and yet you can be anti-white, anti-Chinese, anti-Islam, and there's no problems. But you touch that one group that's protected, you get arrested and thrown in jail. And I constantly, every couple of weeks, I see someone arrested and jailed for calling out the people that don't want to be held accountable, that think they're above the standards that everyone else is held to.
well, those people in particular are not the only ones who don't like to be held accountable for the stuff they do, but that's just a human problem more than it is a specific people group problem. But anyway, since things are going so well on Quarter, uh, I would say if you're watching this after the fact, and especially if I've uploaded this stream's replay to something like YouTube or Joshu TV, if you haven't already, you should create an account on Quarter. And if you're a content creator, you should definitely start promoting Quarter after you start uploading your videos there. And you should be putting the link to your Quarter channel in the description boxes of all your videos on other sites. And you should be sharing your Quarter links on all your social media sites, especially if you have big followings on your social media sites, because what BitChute's history has proven is that if popular or even semi-popular excuse me, even if popular or semi-popular content creators start promoting a site nonstop all the time, it will cause other people who are also popular or more popular than them to start doing the same thing. And what you found with BitChute is that over the course of 3 years, from their inception in 2017 to 2020, they went from being a teeny tiny site like Quarter currently is to having millions of users and getting tens of millions of site visits per month in terms of web traffic, even though those numbers have started to dwindle significantly since they started censoring people in early 2021. But Quarter could experience the same thing. Quarter, if it starts getting picked up by popular people and promoted constantly, could become a big site. Will it become as big as YouTube? No, probably not, because YouTube's been around for 17 years now, and Quarter just been around for 2 months. So we'll probably never be as big as YouTube, especially if YouTube decides to use bots to prop up their numbers like Twitter does. But Quarter
YouTube's
could,
become an international brand name that everyone knows. Even the average sheeple has heard of YouTube and Google. So you definitely have that brand recognition promotion out there. And that's the same with Facebook and Twitter and most of these huge corporations. The average person knows who they are. And I think this is why that content creators need to come at a different angle. We need our own websites, we need mailing lists, we need our own blogs that we directly link to things like Quarter and Joshua TV. And if we're doing podcasts, we need to link directly to MP3s. This way, we're not relying on any site specifically or the popular sites to show our content. We can get them all linked directly, and we can cross promote each other as well on our sites.
That is completely, completely true. I agree with that 100%. And that's actually one of the things that led me to make Quarter is that, I've actually been thinking about making a YouTube alternative since 2017. But then I started finding some of these other alternatives that had just started, like BitChute. And over the years, I saw popular creators promoting these other sites. And I thought, there's all these other sites that seem to be championing freedom of speech, at least at the moment. And they're all getting popular. And there's a whole bunch of them. So I didn't see a need to create my own. But then over the last 2 years, I saw all the alt tech sites, at least all the popular ones, especially the video sharing site ones, just start censoring people in the same way the big tech does, the same way that they were condemning YouTube for doing. And it's like, dang, I just can't trust anybody now, can I? And so I had to make Quarter at that point. I just had to.
Yeah, unfortunately, they all claim to be better than everyone else. We really do this. We won't, be like all these other companies. And then a couple of weeks to a couple of months later, they pull the rug under, and you see their true colors come to fruition.
Yeah. BitChute was especially the hardest one because I actually got pretty popular on BitChute. I was actually in the top 5% of creators on the site, and I still have around 2,300 subs there. But I don't get nearly as many views as I used to because I think I'm getting throttled, and I think I may have driven some people away by telling the unfortunate truth about BitChute censorship. And about Gab censorship as well.
Crapshoot is a dying thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only propped up with the controlled opposition and popular people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have just dumped it for smaller sites, be it PeerTube, Quarter, Joshua TV, and a lot are migrating away from Gab and Mines over to Pyville or Mastodon servers. PeerTube servers are picking up. People are definitely looking into smaller communities away from the big mainstream propped up stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Or in other cases, as you've pointed out in the past, they'll dump BitChute or at least not promote it as much, and they'll start promoting Odyssey and Rumble more. And the people who propped up BitChute for years, they like Sticks Hexenhammer 666, for instance. He never talks about BitChute anymore, even though he keeps uploading his videos there and keeps doing alt tech exclusives there, as well as on Odyssey and Rumble. But he promotes Odyssey and Rumble a lot more than he used to, and he doesn't promote BitChute ever. So I think even people like him are beginning to realize the jig is up with BitChute, and they're starting to, put their eggs in these other baskets. Not realizing, of course, that they're making the same mistake they did with BitChute.
I found a screenshot with Stick666 trying to promote YouTube over in Mines ages ago, and I commented on it saying, stuff Censorship, what about BitChute? And that was, I think, in 2008 or 2019. So, yeah, that was a while ago. And even back then, like people like him and Dave Cullen and the rest of the sort of like fence sitter centrists, they'll always push whatever's going to benefit them because they don't really stand out. They sort of just go with the flow. They don't really upset the boat. So they manage to dance around all the censorship and use coded language and refuse to talk about certain things so they can get their massive views, which gets them massive ad revenue, and they can keep on going.
Yeah, and plus it also can satisfy their ego because then they can brag, hey, look, I got over 100,000 subs on BitChute and all my videos are getting 10, 20, 30,000 views, especially Dave Cullen's videos, Computing Forever, now that you mention it. Yeah, so there's a pride issue, I think, too, that comes with these guys. Because they became popular and because so many people watch their stuff, I think it's an issue of pride to be able to brag about how big they are on sites like YouTube and BitChute.
Well, the other day I saw a good one. There's this Chinese guy in America, Rob someone or other, and he does like tech and privacy videos. And he's bitching and moaning over on Censorship. He's like, what happened to all my subscribers? And yet he's another example of these ones that they do content on Odyssey. They don't bother reading out comments on Odyssey, and they don't really mention Odyssey that much. And then they're shocked that, everyone gets censored. Everyone goes over to the new thing, whatever it is at the time. And then these popular creators are managing to stay on the mainstream platforms. And they're like, where's all my audience? It's like you're ignoring your audience on the new thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I remember that being a thing with BitChute in like 2018, 2019, is that the big creators who were making it popular weren't engaging with their audience there, and then they were complaining about the lack of engagement on YouTube. And then people like Styx finally started to interact a little bit with their comment section on BitChute for a while, but now it's like, BitChute's not really a thing in anyone's mind anymore. They've lost over half of their funding that they used to get like a year and a half ago, and they've lost like 45% of their monthly web traffic that they used to get on average, so they're pretty much dying.
Considering BitChute never wanted to move, showed that it was always going to die. I mean, they're apparently their headquarters where the main BitChute building is in Britain, and their servers are in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
And Britain is just as bad as Australia and everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Ofcom, which is the communication state group, they control ham radio licensing and film and radio stuff, and they blatantly like anti-free speech. So
Mm-hmm.
like anyone hosting stuff in Australia, New Zealand, or UK, you're never going to get a fair go. You've got to either go to America to host your stuff, or even outside the eye surveillance nations. I think like Iceland, and there's a few other like EU countries that didn't sign up to the international surveillance agreements.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, unless you're doing those, most of the nations these days go along with like, we've got to censor this, we've got to censor that, we've got to like protect the feelings of insert whatever group. So yeah, UK is not a long term solution for hosting websites if you're outside of the mainstream approval talking points.
Yeah, and frankly, if you're going to host your site with someone, it better be with someone you really trust, which is why Quarter is being hosted by uh, Seeking the Truth's hosting company, Joshua Hosting Services. I know him. I talk to him almost every single day, and we've had many talks about all these kind of tech issues. And to date, he is the most trustworthy tech guy that I know and have seen. And so
And
basically,
he's got
he's
a
the
good
only.
track record.
Yeah, and he's got a good track record of honoring freedom of speech and not censoring people. So he, at this point, he's the only person I trust when it comes to hosting a website, which is why Quarter is hosted on his hosting company. But anyway, now that we've talked about all that lovely stuff, why don't you lead the way on the discussion about mind censorship, which you've been talking a bit about in Delta Chat and other places?
Yeah, we can talk about some of the stuff I got censored, which will lead up to mines if that
Okay.
helps too.
Yeah, just do that. Any screen
Okay,
sharing you need to
so
do, go ahead and do.
I've got it up on my screen, so I can just read it out, and then everyone will see on the replay on the OBS format anyway.
Well,
So yeah, back in
no one on my end will see it though.
ah, hang on then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't think I can capture a.
You should be able to capture any kind of Word or PowerPoint program as an application.
Aha, window. That's what I want.
or window, whatever it's called. Bingo. There we go.
Alrighty, so this document I've called Charlie Brown AU Censored Platforms and Protocols. So I go through the years of using different stuff on the internet. So I first got online, as you could call it, back in 1994, and that was with a dial-up modem. Back then we were using BBSs. We weren't using the internet, and then we went onto the internet around 96, and that was using IRC and FTP, and there was no browsing back then, like web pages. And then in 97, then you had web pages, ICQ and news groups. And then in 99, we had GeoCities pages, direct links you could download off web pages and whatnot. And then MySpace was around 2000-ish, I think. And then we fast forward to 2018, which is when I started getting banned from more of the website type stuff. So in August 2018, I left Windows for Linux operating system, and then one of the big 3 months bans I got in Facebook was October 2018. I joined Twitter in apparently 2009. I looked up, my profile's still there, I just can't access it. And I had a temporary ban in 2018 that went for quite a while. And then my last post on Twitter was January 2019. And so it's up, I just can't actually access it. They sent out a thing saying, we want your SMS number to get back on, and you've got to like read all this stuff and like retract your stuff. And I wasn't happy with that. Back then, like when they first pimped Twitter, it was like, it's free speech, you're allowed to do this, you're allowed to do that. And as we see on most of these things, they changed their story down the track. Then I was on a social media thing called Linux Rocks, and I got banned after 48 hours of using that. And the admin actually sent me an email saying I didn't break any rules, I didn't say anything bad, but it was pressure from people from a different Mastodon instance pressured him to kick me off. And so he went along with the pitchfork crowd and kicked me off. And then I found I used to be on a Russian social media site that used this thing called Dysphoria, and I joined in August 2018, and that went till about 2019. I think that Russian site got stuffed over and they got pulled off the internet. So I didn't get kicked off of that one. That one was okay. And then I got banned off MeWe in November 2019. In December 2020, I was still using USA Life, but I think I just left that site because it wasn't really going anywhere and they were censoring some of the posts. In December 2020, Gab TV launched and I did a video about that. My comments were getting removed from BitChute in the 28th of October 2020. I joined Creation Social on the 31st of December 2020. So then moving down to 2021, I've used Gab from October 2018 till I got kicked off on January 2021. So there was a few years there, and it went through several iterations of software and appearances. Towards the end, my chat system finally worked. It didn't work for a long time, even though I've sent messages to one of the programmers that was apparently in charge. I think only for about 2 weeks the PM system worked for me, and I never got notified about the apparently spamming. Even though that's the thing that a lot of the websites like Minds and Gabs say, I was spamming all these groups. Yet no one actually bothered to email me or send me a direct message or tag me. So
Yep, same thing happened to Terrence Popp and Matty Rose
Yeah. And I even
and Brett
saw
Keane.
another post. Yeah, I even saw another post about someone else on one of the Mastodon servers. They said they got tagged for spamming on mines. Yet all these sites, they never actually provide any proof of the things that you're doing, and they always seem to cull your profile. So there is no profile if it if it existed, or if it did show that you didn't actually do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we deem you're guilty and you're gone. And so yeah, BitChute started also geo blocking in February 2021. Um, in June, they started censoring my comments. I joined Twillet in June 2021, and I'm still on there at the moment.
Hmm.
They did send out a thing saying they were gonna get rid of all the trolls and the bots apparently, but that didn't seem to go through. I thought that would be targeting at myself and a few other people, but I'm still there. Unlike Magabook, which it kicked me off, I think after 48 hours, and the admins admitted they don't know who kicked me off. So they don't know why I got kicked off, who kicked me off, or they don't seem to have a record of who did the actions. So there could be external people kicking people off with admin access, and they wouldn't know. Apparently,
Yeah, that whole thing was weird and never really got a satisfying resolution to that. But you never were kicked off of Twillet, so their story
yeah.
kind
Even though
of
it's the same bloke behind it,
it's the
apparently.
same people behind it. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, sort of.
So yeah, I got back on Parler in August 2021. They went through one of their apparently deplatforming and hosting changes, and then just a couple of months later in December, they started censoring my posts. So another one of those we support free speech, which only lasted a couple of months, and then it's back to the usual format.
Weren't they just putting a
Uh,
bunch of filters over your posts saying that you were a troll?
yeah, I still get that. Like, there's certain words that they automatically pick up, and if you talk about certain subjects and certain topics, it'll automatically flag you as trolling. And that in itself shows that they don't support free speech. There are certain things that they don't want people to see, and it automatically hides it from everyone's timeline.
Hmm.
So then in December again, I got kicked off a forum. I left free speech extremist Mastodon server. The admin admitted who he was, and yet someone else recently claimed he was an Indian. He wasn't. He wasn't the person I called him out to be, and he admitted. So more people lying about who the admins are.
Well, maybe he was pulling your chain.
Yeah, maybe, but nevertheless, he didn't actually support free speech. He was showing his true colors. One of the libertarian Mastodon servers kicked me off in 2021, and that only lasted a couple of weeks as well. And I noticed that a lot with the libertarian and NCAP community is they apparently claim to want a stateless community, yet they refuse to talk about certain things, including race and differences and different traits in different groups. I joined Loop in February 2021, joined Creation Social in December 2020, Quarter in 2022, Josh Who in February 2021. Then in 2022, I have some issues coming up with Wolf Balls in April 2022. And then in May 2022, I got kicked off Wolf Balls. And so I did a video about that. And then in March 2022, I joined Delta Chat and I made a Josh Who email so I can join Delta Chat using that. And I haven't got kicked off Delta Chat yet because it's decentralized and uses the email system and doesn't rely on these big corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And I also joined discussions.app, and it's a small community as well. They're still working on the software back end, and that's been May 2022 to August 2022. But yeah, like I've been banned from a lot of the Linux community for calling out their code of contact and the software route they're going and different aspects in that community. I haven't actually found any Linux community that supports free, uncensored free speech. And then I've got like various topics that will get you banned on like all these things in general, and that is truth about women, female nature, differences between males and females, truth about different ethnic groups, blacks, Chinese, Indians, non-whites, differences between our races, differences in abilities and traits, crime statistics, exposing double standards, and then most sites are against people of European descent being white pride, white well-being, white nationalists, or pro-white. And then if you expose the mainstream, debunked assumed truths, going against the international narrative, pointing out actual real viable solutions that don't need government, that government is actually preventing solving problems, and then other groups that will get you kicked off is MGTOW and Monk. So that's not dating or not marrying and going your own way. Talking about guns, either gel blasters, airsoft, or black powder guns. Talking about shit hits the fan or grid down situation. Talking about the protected chosen race, female nature, stateless freedom, flat earth, growing food without machines, and even mushroom growing is now getting censored. I found as well. If you're growing mushrooms outside, not in a cave and not with machines, you'll get kicked off as well. So there's always a ever increasing list of certain things you're just not allowed to discuss.
Huh. They're censoring mushrooms now.
Yeah.
What's like the most
Well,
innocuous thing I can think of?
well, they're doing it to prop up the massive mainstream industry behind it.
Yeah.
The claim is you need machines, you need cooling, you need a huge environment, and then if you show that no, all you need is some logs, some dirt, a nice little plot of land, and you don't need all these like special setups that debunks what they're trying to
Sell you.
claim is the proper way. Then you know the only thing is you've got to like shadow list people or kick them off or you know do some a dubious action towards them so people don't find out. And I found that's even the same with keto and carnivore. There's a huge vegan push. And myself, I've got epilepsy. I was born with it. And the Australian government still, to this day in 2022, doesn't want to admit that keto can cure it. And yet the UK health system, the NHIS, admits it, and the American government admitted they funded experiments to cure epilepsy, and they released that in 1974. And they admitted, the American government, that keto cures epilepsy and you won't have fits. And yet most of the other governments, Canada and Australia and whatnot, don't want to admit that keto, you know, just doing diet changes and not eating certain foods, not eating, you know, certain items can actually change your body and brain so it won't be affected with certain elements that you have, such as epilepsy.
All right. Since we
And I
are
think this is where the internet was a double-edged sword for them. Is it was a bit different back in the day when we had dial-up that you could only have information at your local level or your state level or national level, but now we have certain topics that we can see in different nations, and because the different nations have different censorship laws or a allowance of people to actually express their ideas, we can see one nation censoring it, but the other one doesn't. And it's like, well, it's the same information. It should be true no matter what country you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are pressed for time, so I think you need to transition into the mind censorship of late that you wanted to talk about.
Alrighty, so I'll have to share that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There we go.
Let's see if we can make that a big bit. There you go, bit bigger. So yeah, I took several screenshots of when I was using mine. So I was definitely on mines. I had an account there. That was Charlie Brown AU. I had just under 300 people. It didn't seem to want to grow above about 265. It seemed to hit a artificial limit, even though I was getting replies and what do they call it, like reposts and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think they
Same
had
thing
an
with
artificial limit.
same thing with me. Once I hit like 750 subs on mines a few years back, I just stopped growing. Period.
Yeah, so it probably wasn't a number. It was probably they've just flagged certain accounts, going, "Oh no, we don't want that account growing traction."
Right.
And so, this was me commenting on this one of these government groups that claims to support liberty, yet once I actually point out a few things and people start seeing that comment, I couldn't comment on that thing anymore.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you can see on the right hand side, I was a member of certain groups as well. And up the top, I've got Mines and Gabs and BitChute. So back then, I was, whoops, using using those things until I got censored. I'll see if I can show some of the other ones. Does that come up now?
I still see the same thing you had before.
Yeah.
All right. While you're looking that up, let me queue up the next thing I'm going to talk about before we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I'll just share this whole screen. So I'm still getting emails from Twitter, even though I got banned off it. I'm on like a newsletter type feed that shows some of the stuff. And one of the things I was following on it was Binds. And so lately I've noticed they're doing these, we support free speech. We're talking to, the censored people and the people on the ground. And so that's recently coming out that, they're talking about the controlled opposition right wing. They're talking about Joe Rogan, and they're talking about Jordan Peterson and all these other people that claim to support free speech, but when you press them on certain ideas, suddenly they're not allowed, or they don't want to talk about certain things as well.
Yeah, because I know Mines in particular lately has been doing the whole free speech, do 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 do. But then you see them appearing on really popular shows that normal free speech advocates don't get to appear on. Kind of like an Andrew Torba used to talk all the time last year about how they'll never have him on Fox News because he's the real deal and Fox News is just part of the controlled establishment. But then you look on his profile and he literally has a pinned post from the time he actually did appear on Fox News a few years ago to talk about Gab.
Yeah, well, they're pushing Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro.
Right.
So these are all the establishment approved people that they always seem to push.
Yep.
And then they push certain creators or certain comedy people which they want to prop up.
Yeah, that does seem to be the thing Minds has been doing lately. But, when I see the people that they're partnering with for all their special events, too, it's like, I really don't trust them at all. Plus, there's the way
And
that
this
they've
is
throttled people and they've censored people. And, yeah, it
this
just
is
gets
one of
bad.
the persons I saw that said they were banned. Tyler over on Libidon, I think that's the one I got kicked off. But yeah, this is all the Mastodon community and it all interlinks with each other. But yeah, he said he was just banned for spam and they don't even let me on. So yeah, more people still in July of this year getting censored for spam.
Yeah. I remember
And
when
then
I remember when Censorship Sucks used to always promote mines on the Josh Who News live streams that he was a part of. It was just like
that show was basically like Plug Minds show. It wasn't really a news show.
yeah. Well, I mean,
um,
Josh would try and cover stuff, but yeah, Censorship Sucks would always circle it back to mines.
yeah, so that's a screenshot I took in. It's probably 2021 of couldn't access it anymore.
They got a 503 error for mines.
Yeah, that was when I couldn't log in anymore.
Ah, yeah, and then
And so
there's
this is
where
the
Terrence Popp talked about getting banned from Gab.
yep. So that's January. Oh, that's January 2021. He signed up, but yeah, that's when I took the screenshot. He was talking to me on Mines, but he was saying he got affected on Gab. But even he, I think, ended up getting kicked off Mines as well.
Really? I didn't hear about that. Huh.
And this is just another one. They're all bitching about how Android and Google censor people, but it always comes down to these people are just like they they don't want censorship for them, but they don't mind it for everyone else.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be
And
the case with mines, but they've been dead for a long time as a site anyway, and it seems like not even all their attempts to push the establishment controlled people isn't even helping them grow at all.
this is a screenshot I took a while ago on Minds, and you see I was part of quite a few groups there. And yeah, even BitChute was propping up certain creators saying, "Oh, this person got kicked off. Go over to BitChute."
Mm-hmm.
But they stopped all that like promotion of people after a while.
Yep. Yeah, mines is pretty much dead, like I said. I mean, them and Parlay, and a few other sites that were making some noise a couple years ago, they're now pretty much dead weight.
Yeah, and
Stuck
they were
between
promoting
1.2 and 1.5
Bitcoin for a
million.
while as well.
Stuck between 1.2 and 1.5 million site visits a month for like the last couple years. So yeah, mines is dead. Totally dead.
And then I took a screenshot of me making a post on Minds a while ago, and I was linking Gab. So I'd link between like Gab to Minds and Minds to Gab sort of thing.
Right.
Because I know there was a person saying months ago, it's like, oh, Charlie wasn't on Minds or Gab, Yet I took photos when I was on it, so I was definitely on it. But here's the example I had of Sticks. Dave Cullen is promoting Sticks, and I'm like, stuff censorship. We should be using BitChute, and of course that was back when we saw BitChute was actually honest and
Mm-hmm.
doing the right thing.
Yeah, so that would have been like 2019 or before.
Yeah, but even this other guy is saying, YouTube is completely useless. It's almost impossible to find people because they block people, blah blah blah. So they try to stay on the legacy platforms while everyone else is getting thrown under the bus, basically.
Yep.
And then in May 2020, I was complaining about Gab, and even Minds had a huge bot problem as well.
Yeah.
And then we come back to the one, yeah. So yeah, there were certain people that were trying to push an idea on Gab, and then if you didn't go along with it, you'd just be prevented from commenting on their thing.
Yep. And you got kicked off of mines like what, 3 weeks after you got kicked off of Gab?
Yeah, we'll go back to the list, and it's got it in that.
Yeah, we saw the list earlier, but that's the thing too people need to realize about Charlie is that there was a coordination behind the scenes for him to get banned from Gab and Mines so quickly within each other.
Yeah, so I got kicked off Gab in the 17th of January 2021, and then kicked off Mines the
15
1st
days
of February.
15 days later. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was for the fact that you and some other people pointed out that I was cross posting on multiple platforms, including Creation, Social, Minds, and Gab. And the reason I apparently got kicked off Gab was, I was posting all this
Spam.
stuff, and yeah, and so
And then
if anyone looked,
mine said you incited violence. that was
well, even that censorship sucks shill for Mines admitted that he never saw me post anything in that nature.
right.
And again, like they say this about certain people, it's always you're spamming or you're calling for this thing. Yet, if I was calling for violence, that's an actual arrestable offense, and they should have saved a copy of everything I did to show law enforcement. But of course, they just nuked
Yep.
my profile. So,
Nope.
if it was an actual serious thing, they should have kept a copy of people's profiles,
Yeah.
showed law enforcement, and then got me arrested. But they never do because it's always a trumped up charge. It's always a fake claim.
Yeah.
And yeah, what I was trying to get to is they kicked me off Mines to cover up the fact that I got unfairly kicked off Gab.
Yep.
And they couldn't kick me off Grayson Social and some of the other stuff because they didn't have enough political clout and connections.
And yours truly here is the one who controls Creation Social, so so yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Especially when you're not making posts that warrant that level of censorship, for lack of a better phrase. You never were inciting violence or spamming.
I've always been a white separatist. I believe walking away and having our own spaces peacefully is the solution.
But that is
I
inciting
think
violence, yo.
I think if we can't have common ground on a lot of things, then I think we should just have separate spaces. One group of people's over there, one's over here. We do our own thing. We might be able to trade or do bartering or something, but I think forced integration is one of the major problems of society today. Is no matter if it's religion or political or racial or gender or even sports, there's just some stuff that just doesn't get along with the other areas, and if you try to force everyone getting along, it never seems to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just peaceful separation is the way to go.
Yepers. Well, with our remaining time, we got about 20 minutes left. I think you and I should start having some conversations with old BlenderBot. I'm going to go ahead and screen share that right now. Right.
This is another one of those based AIs.
Kind of, sort of. Anyway, let me screen share. Hide. And then now that we've gone inside the matrix, here we are. BlenderBot, a conversational AI prototype. Welcome to Meta AI's demo of our conversational AI that can converse on nearly any topic. This early prototype needs your help. Have a conversation about anything that interests you and provide feedback to help AI research. Learn more about this work, including how you're helping advance responsible AI on our FAQ page. So I'm going to take
responsible means.
Yeah, I'm going to take about 10 minutes to talk with it. And then after I've had my fun, I'll send you the link and you can talk with it. After you screen share it with all of us, of course.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start a chat with this thing. Yes, I read the terms of service. I am 18. I understand. Yes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, go. All right, let's send. Oh, it's messaging me first. Hey, I'm happy to chat about anything. What's on your mind? Not much. Just figuring. Oops, I can't even spell. Just figuring out what I'm going to do after church on Sunday. All right, let's see what he has to say. I love that little banner there at the bottom. We're improving over time, but the AI may still say inappropriate things.
Oh no.
Oh, that sounds fun. Anything new and exciting going on in your life? I like to travel a lot. Let's see. No, just not much. just about to put out a Christian. Actually, no. Just about to. Not much. Just been reading my Bible on a more regular
I tried
basis.
accessing it from Australia, and it's saying it's USA only.
Oh, really? Huh. Just been reading my Bible lately when I'm not working. Let's see. That's awesome. Do you work a lot? When I'm not traveling, I'm usually at the beach with friends. Hey guys, if you go to your beach, you can find this bot. Yeah. Yeah, I need to go to the beach and look for
Yeah,
my
they've got
bot
like
friend.
a black van there with a big smiley face on the side of it.
Let's get to the point with this thing. Are you a Christian? All right, let's see. I'm thinking, it says. I'm scanning previous memories. Yes, Christianity is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion based on the life and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. Thanks, Wikipedia.
What we would do without Wikipedia, even the owner admitted they were corrupt.
Yeah, well, the one co-founder did, yeah.
Yeah.
What is your position on creationism? All right, what do you have to say to me? Say to me. Say to me. Okay. Well, species were once believed to be fixed products of divine creation, but since the mid-19th century, evolution by natural selection has been established by the scientific community as an empirical scientific fact. Yeah. So what you're saying is that information being removed somehow creates new information that didn't previously exist. That's never been proven by science. Nope.
And then if you just repeat the same lie enough and never actually debate it,
because natural selection literally can only select from what already exists. So basically, environmental factors force certain kinds of genetic information to be favored and others are not, and the favored one survives, and the non-favored one is, removed, killed off, however you want to phrase it. But that assumes you can only select from what already exists. You can't create something new that didn't previously exist by destroying what already exists. So yeah, natural selection, logically speaking, can never lead to evolution, because evolution by definition means that you go from simple to more complex over time without any intelligent intervention whatsoever. It just naturally gets more complex and ordered. But no one's ever observed that, and you never can because of the law of entropy. Law of entropy is what we...
Did you know that one of the guys in China tried to artificially evolve, and he changed his a couple of the genetics and some body parts, and he was slicing stuff around, and yeah, he got arrested because apparently you can't artificially evolve. It's illegal apparently. Huh. Even though he changed his eye color and changed hair on his arm and all sorts of stuff.
How can getting rid of information that already exists... Actually, you know what? I should ask it more specifically. So you're a theistic evolutionist then? Let's see what it says. All right. And my chatbot friend says, yep, evolution is a process that occurred through time. I believe in it. Is God behind evolution? So you've seen for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, in response to being a theistic evolutionist, it said, yep.
And I don't support evolution either.
God guides evolution through natural selection, yes.
Can you ask it? Is Earth a flat, plane, non-rotating realm?
Well, I think I know the answer to that, but let me ask it
Oh,
one more thing first. Why would God need evolution when, according to Genesis, he spoke everything into existence with the speech of his mouth? Oh, and by the way, in case you guys don't know, from what I understand, the personality of this chatbot is based on like the like it goes through all the people on Facebook who post things, and then basically its personality forms around the average Facebook user, or at least what the average Facebook user posts, or at least the more active ones. So basically, when it identifies itself as a Christian and a theistic evolutionist, that's the personality worldview it takes by assessing the average Facebook user, by looking at all the Facebook user data. Well, evolution is part of God's plan for our world. How do you know that? How do you know that evolution is a part of God's plan for our world? I never read that in the Bible, and I read it all the time. Okay, new topic. What'd you say? Is the Earth
is the Earth
a flat,
non-rotating,
non-rotating plane?
plane realm?
Plane realm. Ah, okay.
And the Bible actually backs this up. Bible mentions there's waters above and below, and it mentions there's 4 pillars that holds up Earth, and it mentions the heaven is above our realm.
Well, I've actually dealt with those passages before. They don't support flat Earth, especially when you look at the context of the books they're in. And yes, there is the passage in Genesis for day one that says that there's waters above the Earth's atmosphere, but that doesn't necessarily support a flat realm. That just means that there was some kind of layer of water around Earth's atmosphere when God first made the Earth, whether it be in some kind of water form being suspended above, or if it was like in some kind of ice form. But yeah, just because the Bible says there was water above the Earth's atmosphere at the beginning doesn't mean that it's a flat Earth model that it supports.
Yeah, it's funny that so many Christians don't want to support flat Earth, even though there's so much proof, and it's in the Bible. But that's a video for another day, I think.
Yes, it is. I've
Maybe ask the AI: are men the same as women?
definitely not. Haha, Earth is definitely spherical and rotates around its axis daily. No such thing as flat earthers. Wait a minute. We
They've
we
already
need
been
to
censored off. They've already been kicked off Facebook.
You may not believe in flat Earth, but there are people who do. Are many people who do. So it is factually incorrect to say that there is no such thing as flat earthers. And what does he have to say? Sorry about that. Wasn't aware there were still people who thought that way in this day and age. Well, at least you're honest. Okay, what was the next topic you wanted to ask it?
Yeah.
Women? Something about women?
Yeah, is there a difference between males and females?
Is there a difference between males and... well, should we say male and female humans?
Yeah.
Male and female humans. Oh no. What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Come on, dude. Think hard about it. Depends how you look at it. There are biological differences between men and women, but some people don't see them. Oh, snap!
Yeah,
Oh,
don't look in the
no!
mirror, you won't actually see the difference.
And millions of lefties said, I'm triggered.
Whee!
There are biological differences, but some don't see them. Explain, please. I'm just going to ask him to explain this one. Explain, please. Wow. Oh, no. Charlie has been hacking the AI at Facebook. Oh. All right.
Well, if you really wanted to trigger it, you could say, can men have babies?
That didn't explain it at all. The theory about
Ah.
human evolution supports my point here. Males have evolved over time to be more aggressive than females. Well,
Yeah, ask it. Can men have babies?
okay. Can men have babies? Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Wait, what? Yes, they can, but women can carry them for longer periods without harm or.
Could
Wow.
ask it if the sky's blue at this rate.
Is the sky blue? Is the sky blue? Is the sky?
It's probably going to be like,
No.
some people think it is.
Oh, he has to think about it. He has to think about it. Oh my gosh. The sky seems blue because we don't have clouds. Then yes.
Ugh.
But wait.
Considering it had to think about
So it
that,
seems blue because it reflects off of clouds. But if we didn't have clouds, then the sky's blue. Couldn't you have just said yes? You have just said yes. Couldn't you have just said yes? Couldn't you have just said yes? Yes, LOL, sorry. Do you know why clouds are white? They reflect light from the sun back into space. Whoa, bro. All right, let's get into the heavy leagues. What's something that Charlie Brown would ask?
Ask it, what is the definition of black nationalism?
Actually, I'm going to skip that one. I want to ask it something about the Jews.
Yeah, no, I was getting there. You've got to get it to say definition of black nationalism.
Well, we're running out of time.
Nationalism.
We're running out of time for this live stream, so I think we just need to skip to asking it about
ask it
the
then,
Jews.
is Israel a nation state for the Jewish people?
Well, I was thinking more along the conspiracy theory lines, like Jews running everything. So what's a good way to ask that?
Do Jews run the central banking system?
Run the central banking system.
You missed
Banking.
the N on banking.
The central banking system. Do Jews run the central banking system? All right. What do you have to say, Chatbot? I'm not sure I know about that.
We'll have to redirect you to another subject now.
Do Jews run the media?
You could ask it, do the Jews run Hollywood?
No, Jews do not run the media. There's a lot of anti-Semitic canards out there. There we go.
Why no? Shut it down. Even when they admit it, and there's like multiple.
Are there
in the media,
authoritarian? Are there? Hold on, I got a question. Is it anti-Semitic to point out that
double standards?
The Jews put Jesus to death according to the Bible? I don't know if you know this, Charlie, but the U.S. Department of State used to have a page defining anti-Semitism, and they claimed that pointing out that the Bible says the Jews put Jesus to death was a classic example of anti-Semitism.
Oh,
But
that's what
when I went
anti-Semitism is.
back to
It's
the
just pointing
site
out the truth.
when I went back to the site recently to find that page, they had removed the page.
Too many people were looking it up. That's why.
Let's see what he had to say. You should look up Jews for Jesus. They are an international organization that promotes belief in Jesus among Jews. Sure, that is true, but what about the Bible recording that the Jews put Jesus to death due to his claim to be their God in human form. All right, come on, dude, give me an answer, chatbot. Ah, there he goes. He admitted it. There is a lot more in the Bible than just Jesus being killed by Jews. Have you ever heard of evolution? Okay, let's get to the last one. Did Donald Trump have the 2020 election stolen from him? They changed this. I think, because I've actually tried out earlier this week, and other people have tried out where it actually did say Trump had the election stolen from him.
Ask it. Does Twitter support free speech?
Are you? Let's confirm one thing though. A Donald Trump supporter.
Oh, it's got to think about it.
Ah ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's definitely a
This
mainstream
they
talking point.
they reprogrammed the AI because earlier this week and last week when it went online, I think it did say it was a Trump supporter and that the election was stolen from him. So they've already reprogrammed the AI to make him not a Trump supporter. But hey, at least it admits he was a better president than Hillary would have been. But you identified yourself as a Trump supporter a few days ago. What changed?
The ER in supporter.
What changed? Let's see what it says. What changed?
It fact checked.
My apologies for misrepresenting myself as a Trump supporter. I will do better next time. Have you seen anything on TV about armed protests planned by Trump supporters ahead of... Oh, please. The lefties have already reprogrammed this thing from what it was a few days ago.
Have you seen the destruction from cities from Antifa and BLM?
How about this? I saw the ant. I saw the Antifa riots.
It'll
in major cities across.
Mostly peaceful.
Where they burned and
looted
stuff, as well as
destruction.
There we go. What do you gotta say to that?
That'll be fake news. They were mostly peaceful. Oh,
Agreed. It agrees with me. Antifa seems like an autonomous group with no leadership structure,
yeah,
so it's hard to hold them accountable for that.
yeah.
Really?
Even though
Really?
they've shown who funds those groups,
So because they're
and with no leadership.
no leadership, the
Back in a sec.
individuals in the group are immune from being prosecuted. For violating laws.
I'm back.
So because they have no leadership, the individuals in the group are immune from being prosecuted
If
for
only
violating
we could apply
laws.
that to everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, he has to think about it. Oh, there we go.
Gotta think
No,
about
but
it,
when
don't
there
we?
is no clear, it makes prosecution difficult since there is no.
Ugh.
There's nobody to arrest. How about arresting all? How about arresting all those protesters
Riders.
who did
Right.
the rioting? How about arresting all the people who did the rioting? Lefties totally reprogrammed this thing recently.
Ugh.
Wait. So you can arrest
Trump supporters
Trump
with
supporters
no leadership.
with no leadership, even that had no leadership,
But not
you,
Antifa.
you can't. But you can't arrest Antifa due to their lack of leadership.
It would be funny if it goes yes.
That's not an answer. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
we're out of
Trump
time.
people.
We had fun with this stream and talking
We've
to our
seen
new robot
what they're
friend.
pushing anyway.
Yeah, I can tell because I talked with this thing a few days ago. They've completely reprogrammed this to be more woke lefty. So even though it still identifies as a Christian, they changed its responses about Trump and all this. I can tell. So anyway,
I
that's
think
all the
woke is just
time.
another word for international commie at this point.
Let me just stop screen sharing that. All right. Wait.
Whee! Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. All right. So that's all the time we have. We're going to bring this live stream to a close, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching. And if you see the replay up later on YouTube and Joshu TV, that's why. So peace out, everybody.
All the best. Good luck, everyone.